George Jones was known for his unwavering commitment to the traditional roots of country music. Throughout his career, he watched as the genre slowly evolved into something he didn't entirely agree with. Over the decades, country music began incorporating more pop influences, especially noticeable from the 70s through the 90s. But it was in the 2000s when this shift became even more pronounced. During that decade, artists like Keith Urban, Rascal Flatts, Sugarland, Carrie Underwood, and Taylor Swift rose to prominence. Luke Bryan also debuted with his first album in 2007. While these musicians were immensely talented and created wonderful music in their own right, there was a general consensus that country music was taking on a distinctly different sound during this era, a trend that has continued, albeit evolving, to this day. George Jones was evidently displeased with the influx of new artists into the country music genre and their categorization as such. When asked about Taylor Swift and Carrie Underwood, his response underscored his traditionalist views. However, prior to addressing these specific artists, Jones had expressed his sentiments in a 2007 interview with Reuters. "It's good to see young people embracing country music, but they don't realize that what they're doing isn't genuine country. Why do they insist on calling it country? They should find another name and leave our charts to us country artists. Instead, they use country music as a stepping stone. I'm old-fashioned, and I can't appreciate anything else. I don't know why. I can recognize talent and a good song, but the kind of songs they write nowadays don't compare to those by Hank Williams, Jim Reeves, and Ray Price. You don't hear that quality anymore, at least not to my ears. I have a lot of friends in the industry. Dierks Bentley is a close friend. Kenny Chesney is probably my closest friend. He calls me daddy, and I call him son. Many new artists confide in me, saying, I wish they'd let me record a good old-fashioned country song. I understand their struggle. They have to conform nowadays. It used to be an open business. If they liked your voice, they signed you. You didn't need to be attractive or get dental work done. They just brought you in and recorded you. They gave you time to find success. Today, there are many great singers in this town that people ignore because they don't fit the image. Back then, nobody cared about looks. I wouldn't have won any beauty contests, but nobody held it against me. This revision maintains the essence of the original while enhancing clarity and flow. 2 years after George's conversation with Reuters, he once again sat down for an interview with Alternative Press. When asked about the evolving sound of country music, particularly the infusion of pop influences and the prominence of artists like Taylor Swift and Carrie Underwood, Jones reiterated his stance. I believe they've appropriated our identity, he stated. They've relied on something that was already established, which is traditional country music. What they really ought to do is find their own label because they're clearly not representative of traditional country music. It's reassuring to know that we continue to uphold traditional country music. Alan Jackson and George Strait are still doing it, and there are many of us who are hoping for its resurgence one day. George Jones was known for always speaking his mind, and he never hesitated to tell it like it is. At one point, country music seemed to veer away from its traditional roots, blending with other genres. George Jones argued passionately for preserving those roots, and now it feels like we've come full circle. Many artists are returning to the classic country sound, placing a renewed emphasis on powerful lyrics, storytelling, and the fundamental elements that define country music. This return to tradition has coincided with a remarkable resurgence in the genre's popularity, whether it's through record and song sales, streaming numbers, or the massive crowds flocking to live shows. Country music is enjoying unprecedented success in recent years. However, George Jones was unwavering in his dedication to preserving country music. Share your thoughts in the comments below and tell us which artists today you believe embody the traditional country sound.